Why podcast hosts should never write a book. Now, that may seem like a strange statement, coming from a guy who helps experts like you create their book and monetize their ideas. But in the few minutes that we have together, I'll explain to you what I mean, and it'll make perfect sense. Now, I believe that podcast hosts are a different breed. Now, I speak from experience because I, like you, am a podcast host. We're not content staying where we are. We have a message to communicate that we believe can make the world a better place. The challenge is, well, there's an ocean of people with similar interests and perspectives. Millions of voices, thousands of podcasts, hundreds of platforms. How will you rise above the crowd so that your message is heard? You can't simply just speak louder, as no one may be listening. And most of us don't have the pockets to fund a massive media campaign or to buy our way onto certain stages. So how can you gather a crowd, reach more people, and earn more income? Well, you can try to figure it out on your own and blaze a new path, or learn from those who've gone before you. As one who doesn't like to recreate the wheel, I vote for plan number 2. Now, here are some people who have influenced my life and have laid a path that we all can follow on our journey to impact the lives of others. Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Jack Canfield, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Seth Godin, and Simon Sinek. Names we are all familiar with. People who capture our attention. They cause us to think differently, and they get us to buy what they're selling. Now, maybe you want to be a big fish like they are. Or maybe you're okay fishing in a smaller pond where you can be the big fish to your audience. Either way, it's possible when you follow the path they've laid out for you. What is it that makes them different from me and you? Are they smarter than you? No. Are they more talented than you? Probably not. So what is it that makes them, them? Well, they are recognized thought leaders. They each have a message to say, and they each communicate their message in a variety of ways. Not one of them has only one platform. Now, maybe that's where they started, but it is not where they stayed. So where can you find them? What platforms are they on? Well, they all have websites and social media. They do videos. They're on stages. They're being interviewed. They do seminars. They have media. They do TED Talks, and they have podcasts. And, of course, they have books. You can find them everywhere. They are omnipresent. Are you? You see, they all use media to elevate their status as a thought leader. You can do the same thing. You need to create your own personal media platforms. When we think about media platforms, we think of traditional media being TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, books. But in the new media environment, we have video, podcasting, blogs, e-newsletters, e-magazines, email, books. Credibility. Your credibility is created. And the key difference that determines the level of credibility that you hold in your audience's eyes and the level of credibility between all of these platforms is the barrier to entry. Think about it. Websites, well, they're very easy to create with today's technology. Blogs, just blink and a new one's released. Video, well, it's super simple and very powerful. Social media content, well, you can do that in your sleep. How about electronic content? It might be a more challenging and time-consuming. What about podcasting? Well, it's not quite as easy, but it's still pretty doable for many people. How about creating your own book? Well, that's much more difficult, but that didn't stop them, and it shouldn't stop you. Let's look at 2 examples. Tony Robbins. 3 decades ago, he was an unknown commodity, doing seminars, having people walk on fire. Then, he published his book, Unlimited Power, and became a household name. He took that book, Unlimited Power. It moved him from a unknown commodity to a recognized expert, and he's built a billion-dollar media company from it. Okay? Let's look at a more recent example. Simon Sinek. He did a TEDx talk on Start With Why. That put him on the map, because before he did that, again, he was an unknown commodity. He was trying to be a thought leader, trying to do some consulting. Nobody really knew him. He did that talk. It put him on the map. Then what he do? He went out and published a book. And the rest is history. Let's do a quick case study on Mr. Sinek. So, Simon Sinek has an estimated net worth of $18 million as of 2022. Simon Sinek is great at monetizing his ideas. So after his very popular TED Talk, he wrote a book called Start With Why. It's a pretty good title, which quickly became a bestseller. Then he used that to deliver a series of popular YouTube videos and even more popular keynote speeches that made even more money. Okay? Simon founded his company, and today he earns over $300,000 a month. He understands how to monetize his ideas. Here's his formula. Have an idea, speak, create your book, proclaim your message through media, get paid to speak, repeat the process. Simon now has a number of books, a number of messages, and he gets paid big bucks to share his thoughts. That's what you and I need to be doing. We are thought leaders. Simon created wealth, not by selling his book, but by selling his ideas through his book. By elevating his status, he was able to attract an audience, which allowed him to grow his revenue and influence. And you can follow his path. How do you do it? Basically 3 options. Because you have ideas, you have a platform in podcasting, but you need that extra platform of being an author, a recognized authority. It's your book that's going to put you on the map and make you a household name. So you take your ideas and you take them to a major publisher, and they're going to reject you because they're not about that. They want a traditional publisher pays you in advance. They own your content. They own your IP. They do the publishing. They do the promotion, and they own everything. That's not going to happen for most of you. You could go the self-publishing route. Okay, self-publishing is doable. You do everything. You keep all the spoils. You can do it. It's just going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, well, and a lot of money. Yes, self-publishing can be expensive due to the opportunity costs that many people don't consider. So that's traditional publishing, where they do it all and they keep it all. Self-publishing, you do it all, you keep it all. Or a hybrid publisher like Paperback Expert, where we work with you, an expert, to help you monetize your ideas. Now, let me assure you, these thought leaders like Simon and Tony, they are not writing their books themselves. Okay, you will not find them hunched over their keyboard late at night or tucked away at some remote hotel over the weekend, just pounding away their manuscript on their keyboard. You see, they aren't writers. They're communicators. They're speakers. They are thought leaders. Writing a book is not the highest and best use of their time, nor is it yours. And that is why podcast hosts should never write a book. Now, may I share with you an industry secret? You see, when you're in an industry for a long time, industry secrets, well, they become common knowledge to those inside the industry. But the problem is, those outside, those secrets are still a secret. And most people believe that these thought leaders are actually writing their own books. Well, they don't. They have ghostwriters or people on staff or large publishing houses that take what they say and turn it into a book. It's faster, easier, and more profitable for everyone involved. So I tell everyone, never write a book. Instead, speak to write your book. You can use the dictate function in Microsoft Word or a Google Doc. You could dictate into your phone. Okay? Get the words out of your head and transcribe them, then edit them, then proofread them, then format them, then publish them. Whew. That's a lot of work, which is why many people I talk with have spent years trying to get their book completed and published. It's also why our clients love our Speak to Write process, because we remove all of the barriers and all of the hassles that are standing between you and you being a published author. Following our process, you just show up on a few conversations with one of our writers, and by sharing your knowledge, you are able to create your book without writing a word. Then we handle all the other details for you, and you keep all the royalties, rights, and credibility. It's really a pretty cool system. Now, note, your book is not about your podcast interviews. And please, don't just use your podcast interviews as the content for your book. Okay, your book should not be a regurgitation of your interviews. Your book is about you and your message. You are a thought leader. You have a message, and you can monetize your message like Simon and the others when you create your book without writing a word. When you become an author, here's what happens. You elevate your status as a thought leader. You expand your reach so you impact more people, and you grow your revenue so you can live the life of your dreams. You are an industry expert. You're a podcasting expert. Now may be the time for you to become a paperback expert as you create your book without writing a word. Well, let's end where we began. I asked you a question when we started that I want to revisit here. How will you rise above the crowd so that your message is heard? How will you be seen as a recognized expert who others should follow, listen to, and hire? How will you elevate your status, expand your reach, and grow your revenue? There are many paths you can follow, but only one that brings you the inherent credibility, authority, and expertise that others attribute to a recognized thought leader. Use your voice to proclaim your message through your podcast, and use your voice to expand your impact and your revenue through the pages of your own book. Use your voice to speak to write your book, and you'll find that the process is easier than you thought, faster than you imagined, and more rewarding than you ever thought possible. You have everything you need to create your book without writing a word. And when it's published, you will be more easily able to elevate your status as a thought leader, to expand your reach of your message so that you'll have greater impact in the lives of others, and you'll be able to grow your revenue year after year after year. And that is why podcast hosts should never write a book.